welcome back to Creative Live. My name is Kate Dessa, and I'm excited to have you all join me today for our new class, Ignite Your Business Marketing Kit in Adobe Illustrator. And today we have Kladi joining us for our live stream. She's our newest instructor, so welcome to the show, Kladi. So excited to have you.
Hi, Kate. Thank you so much for having me here. Super thankful to join this amazing family of Creative Live and very excited to be here.
Yeah, so if you are tuning in on social media or in the class page, make sure you tell us where you're tuning in from. Kladi, are you currently in Italy right now? Or are you somewhere else?
I'm actually somewhere else. I'm always somewhere else. So I'm currently in Manchester in the UK.
Okay, so Kladi is Italian, but currently in Manchester. I am here in Las Vegas, and you know where Creative Live is in Seattle. So tell us where you guys are tuning in from, because we have a worldwide audience, and we're excited to bring everyone together on this live stream. So today, I'm so excited to talk to Kladi a little bit about her as a creative before we jump into a little bit about the class. Kladi, tell us a little bit about yourself. You are a graphic designer and you own your own business. You have you have a plethora of talents. So tell us a little bit about yourself before we go into what the class is going to be like.
Yes. So as you mentioned, I am a designer from Italy, although I have a business based here in the UK, in Manchester in particular, where I've been for nearly 10 years now. Although I travel the world, I'm often to the States, in Spain, and of course, my beloved Italy. I run a business here which is dedicated more to a small, medium businesses. So I do curate the brand and all the visual communication of small and medium businesses, and what I would like to say, family businesses, and I help them take off. And I think that that's been an extremely exciting experience growing together. I've been, and my business is called Printmysoul, which I choose this name because I believe it's a nice icebreaker with business owner that not necessarily know the reason why they hire me. They know that they need a designer. They know that they need someone that knows something about marketing and to create their visual identity, but they don't really know what it's about. So I use my brand Printmysoul to sort of break it down for them and explain how my job is to translate their soul, their core, of course, their business soul and core to an audience. So to market, to print it. And that's where Printmysoul comes from.
Yeah. I just dropped your handle into the comments. So if you guys want to check out Kladi's business, it is at Printmysoul. And sorry to interrupt you. Continue along.
No, please feel free to interrupt me. That's come from being Italian. I can talk for ages. So alongside the business, I also run a parallel business, which is all about sharing my passion and my love for design. It's called I Am Kladi, and that's where you can find all the courses and a lot of videos that I've done with so many amazing people at Adobe Live. So as you probably know, Kate, I think we talked about it. I present and host different shows at Adobe Live. Actually, we have one coming up tomorrow and Thursday with Asus Premieres, which I also know that is one of your amazing authors, called Rework It, where we help designer by reworking their design live on the Adobe Live show on Behance. And I also host creative challenges in Illustrator, Photoshop, and I'm very lucky to call myself part of the extended family at the wonderful Adobe Live on Behance. And yeah, so I basically follow my dreams. I come from a completely different industry, and I'm very, very lucky to be here by just focusing on my passion and of course, which is creativity.
And that's like, Kladi, you speak to my heart so much because, you came from an industry that wasn't necessarily creative in the same way. And, you told us a little bit about your story, which is that you used to work at the Italian embassy, or was it another embassy?
No, so I was actually a communication assistant for the Burundi embassy at the UN many years ago. my very first job out of uni, I studied communication and public relation. And then I embraced the international communication side. Again, the DNA, being Italian talkative, was always there, the backbone. And my desire to help and to facilitate communication was perhaps my first understanding on how to help people express themselves. And I thought that, probably the UN was a very, very good place where to help people understand each other. Although probably wasn't the right job for me. It's really tough. I think that I'm very emotional and empathic, and that helps a ton when you are a brand designer and a creative, but makes it a little bit tougher when you're dealing with such a hot topic like the one that I dealt at the UN. So I kind of had lived this double life. I also was a graffiti artist, and I was leading this double life for, smart dressed and all cleaned up at the UN office job, and then spraying trains and streets at night. And my options were to get fired or arrested, and I didn't like neither of those. So I
So
kind of, yeah.
sorry. So yeah, that's the story you kind of shared with us in the beginning is you've always been a creative, but you were following what you thought you were supposed to do, figuring it out, discovered that maybe this wasn't your path, and then we're going out at night and really unleashing your creativity on the streets, which is really cool. So we have some photos of you doing that we're going to show here for a second. So tell us a little bit while we look at these photos. Tell us a little bit about your path as a creator, and it looks like you started at a young age, and then
So there's a photo. Yeah.
Yeah, go right ahead.
I was saying there's a photo of little Kladi here, always makes me laugh a lot. I think that one of the biggest, so I'm going to use some keywords here. Freedom is definitely one of my keywords, freedom and passion. I've always been passionate about getting my hand dirty, as you can see in that photo, with colors. And again, I had a very amazing lack of being able to explore my creativity since a very young age. And I still do. I still paint on the floor and do all of that stuff besides the wall. And that's a photo that actually my mom sent me quite recently when I came out with my book, because she was like, "Oh, I actually remember that you designed a cover when you were like in your elementary class in elementary school." And my mom has always been very surprised of me, kind of not doing my professional business in the business, not deciding to be a professional business person in her mind.
Yeah.
Course, and kind of approaching this designer, what is it, job
Yeah.
that she couldn't really understand. And then she came out with this picture, and I was like, "Mom, I mean, I've done a cover when I was like 6, and you're surprised that that's what I'm doing right now." But
I feel like that's anyone that finds their creative path has kind of been through that with their parents or their their teachers. It's like, yeah, this was the path that most people would take, but you've always known who I was. You always knew that I really enjoyed creativity, and it's nice to see people drop what mom and dad thought and actually pursue the thing that drives them, like you.
yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
And I basically had to restart again, go for a second degree when I was quite old. I moved back to Manchester because I actually from New York, I ended up working in Australia. So I went from the public international communication into more advertising, and that's where I moved to Australia. And then when I was in Australia, I had to prepare some marketing kits in terms of more a PR side. So I wasn't doing the creative work. I was doing the PR job. So having all this press release, calling editors, and I was so worried about matching the color to the brand, and the press release needed to be out yesterday. So that wasn't really working well either. but then I had an amazing senior PR, which told me, "Are you sure you don't want to hang out with a creative cloud, with a creative crowd and creative people?" And I went there and I suddenly found my family. So it took a lot of courage to start again. So I was actually starting my career and I dropped everything to start again and moved to Manchester to do a Shillington course. Which is a amazing quick start course to learn how to use these wonderful creative Adobe apps. And that's where I started. I started to get clients when I was studying, and I just kind of trusted my path and followed my passion. And I think that's perhaps the biggest message that I would love to share anytime that I'm teaching, anytime that I get in touch with people of all age, because it's not necessarily, it doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter how old you are. You can be young, but also you can be older and already in another path. There is always time, if that's what you desire, there is always time to follow your passion. And I think that's what really makes a difference in order not to give up and to have a happy life at the end.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And that's the juxtaposition of you working at the embassy at the UN and then finding that time and that, not letting that put your creative light out, and you finding the time to go do graffiti at night is such a moving, inspiring story that it's, if you find the time, who knows where it's going to take you, and look where it's taken you. So it's pretty cool to hear that story. And let's show a few of the pictures we have of you out on the streets with your masks on.
Yeah, so that's I think is pretty much telling how my life was completely divided, and by the way, like, I'm super excited to be here. Like, to me, it's like, super exciting, but I'm still in the same mood where I was there. Like, I still feel like I haven't started yet. And I feel like that every single day that I wake up, that excitement is always there. And of course, here, I will say graphic design saved my life, because carrying out those two lifestyles, as you can imagine, is not, that easy. And of course, these colors kind of took on my life. And by all means, I don't want to describe myself as a street art artist. There are so many more talented people that do it way better than me. I just use the wall as a canvas, and that's a great example. This project that we're seeing here, I just literally out having a weekend with friends, and I started to design my name, which is Juicy, on a wall, and I started to create these typefaces because I'm also dyslexic. So I was looking on how to create my name, Juicy, with shapes. I always do a lot of research with the psychology of Gestalt and analyzing perception. And that's where this typeface came from. So literally from an afternoon with friend, playing with colors, and then boom, went into Illustrator, traced it, and now it's actually available on my website. People use it. I've seen it used in other projects. Of course, it's a big, fun display font, and it's called Gestalt K. But again, started from a wall.
Yeah, I love it. I'm big into Memphis Milano design, and it really reminds me of Memphis design. Oh, yeah. It's really great. Yeah.
There is a bookshelf that is similar. I don't know if you are.
Yeah. I'm a big furniture nerd, so when I saw that. Yeah, exactly, Kladi, we're of the same heart. But when I saw that specific font type, I was like, oh, I know we would sit for coffee and nerd out about design for a long time. Well, before we play a little clip, tell us a little bit, you, again, another one of my favorite things is plants, and you made this amazing coffee table book about plants, and which won a design award in Italy, and we're going to play a little clip from that book. But tell us a little bit about, the inspiration behind it.
Totally. So this is another big part of my life. And thank you so much for selecting this, because I really, again, it kind of reiterates the same keywords. So passion, curiosity, and freedom. So my job always very, very often takes me to take care of more commercial approach to design. So a lot of logos, website, and marketing material. And my love has always been towards illustrating and drawing, which unfortunately didn't come out very often, especially at the beginning when I really had to focus on the bread and butter, because, there is no pretty story, starts messy, starts art, and then you can build towards your freedom in creating. And I just kind of felt after 4 years of running my business that was time for me to dedicate to what I really wanted to do. And as I say to any student, try to build a portfolio that reflects what you want to be hired for. Because if you show things that you're not happy doing, people, that's where your clients, they're going to pay you to do that. And if you feel miserable, that's not good. So I try to listen to my own advice and to focus on these passion projects. So that was self-initiated. And also, I decided plant, because you see like a little snippet here behind me, but I have about 142 plants right now in the house. I have like
Wow, that's amazing.
fourth generation of mothers and grandmothers. They're all connected here. But yeah, so the book is called Plant Therapy, and is about how to take care of indoor plants, which was literally my notes on how to take care of 149 plants. I had a little bit of a notebook full of tips, which I put together. But most importantly, was a way to celebrate my work, and it just started as a book that I wanted to send out to marketing agency to let them know that I was there and I was willing to create editorials and illustrations. And that kind of went big. People loved it. Shop wanted to have it. It sold out in about 3 months. I'm probably one of the unique person that I haven't done a reprint yet, although I have people asking me to buy it so many times, and I still have to find time to do a second edition.
Yeah.
But that changed my life. The award was actually in Berlin, and
Sorry about that.
no, it's all right. You were right. The paper is made in Italy, which is Fedrigoni.
Yeah.
The stock is very unique. Again, is all in line with nature. You can literally put it into a little bit of dirt and will leave no trace. There is no mercury. I try to be, really promote integrity in my work. So that comes from the production side as well.
Yeah.
And that's what the book is about. And again, I won an award in Berlin. I think I was awarded next to Dior and Etro, which are amazing brands,
Yeah.
huge teams. And I was there by myself on the stage, which was exciting. But yeah, the book, and again, following my passion, brought home a lot of, I would say, excitement, and wonderful other project came out of there.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna play the clip, and then what's gonna happen is everybody else is gonna be like, how can we get this book? And we're gonna have to get you to do a reprint. So let's roll the clip and see how great this book is and the design behind it.
Plant Therapy is a first publication for Studio Printmysoul. It's actually the very first go at illustration for myself. I ended up drawing, illustrating, and art directing and writing the entire book myself. This project was made to promote the work of my studio, and it ended up being a social media success because plants are such a big trend nowadays, and of course the paper makes it very special. The reason why I decided to produce Plant Therapy with this particular selection of stock is because I've noticed a very big gap in the market. All the botanical and herbal books are mainly referring to architectural books, so you have all these big white pages and a lot of photography. I felt the need to deliver an experience. The experience is given by the paper and by the illustration. I hope that Plant Therapy deliver both information but also style and entertains as all the best coffee tables do. More than managing followers, I will talk about relationship and building relationship. I don't have a huge amount of followers myself, but I do travel a lot. My background is in public relation, and I developed a natural skill into interacting with people. Also, I'm Italian, therefore I talk a lot. And of course that helps. I also believe that more than being shared of social media and followers, the award was shared a lot in a WhatsApp chat and WhatsApp group and between colleagues. So I really believe in the power of building relationship one-to-one, and of course the uniqueness of the paper and the uniqueness of delivering a product that is a niche within the industry of botanical books definitely lead the stream.
So just as a reminder, you are tuning into the live kickoff for Kladi's new class, Ignite Your biz marketing kit in Adobe Illustrator, and we are just getting to know Kladi today on the live stream. And that was just a little clip from an award that she received. Pronounce the award for me again.
So it's a top
Kladi.
award. It's called Top Award from Fedrigoni.
There we go. And that was her book that she produced, designed, and illustrated. And Kladi, tell me a little bit, this is why you're such an interesting person to work with, and I'm sure businesses love working with you because you think of things so holistically from start to finish. And I think that really goes into your design mindset and really goes into your class. So tell me a little bit about the thought process of, putting this all together from start to finish and how that applies to, creating a marketing kit for a business.
Absolutely. And Kate, you totally got the point. That was probably the response to your question, which I'm going to share with you in a second, is exactly the key of my marketing release for when I published the book the first time. So I literally treat plans, and the way that I take care of plans and the reason why I produce the book is exactly the same way that I approach a creative brief. So I try to observe and think about the project itself, or the plant in that case, and I try to understand what are the characteristics of the environment. So it could be a room for the plant, or it can be the industry for a business, or the resources. And then I try to work within these limitations in order to bring beauty to life. In the case was the book, or in the case of the plant is like to make a plant thrive and survive. And of course, in the case of a business, it will be to make sure that the business gets well known, becomes memorable, and it becomes successful. And that's exactly where the holistic approach comes from. I think that rather than focusing first on creating, I see a lot of people just always focusing on having fear of not knowing what to do and what is the next thing that I can do. I think that there is not enough time spent really on the research and understanding how, by asking questions and looking at the background of the business, or really focusing on creating, like we did in this course, a kit that you can use, that you can leverage. So that sort of work that happens behind the scene before something gets created is really what makes a difference in the quality of a project. And I think that makes a difference in the quality of a professional output, or maybe a little bit more of an amateur output. And I think that for those of you that are going to take the class and join and participate to the lessons, I try to provide as many templates as in order to do the hard work.
Yeah, so let's jump into talking about the class a little bit. So Kladi, you have such a creative and interesting background that kind of led you to where you are today. And this class is kind of a condensed version of, what you do for the businesses you work for. And so tell us a little bit, you create, brand identities for small businesses. This class is really going to help people who have small businesses who can't afford people like you to help kind of build their marketing kit and their social media presence on their own. So tell us a little bit about why you wanted to make this class, and how your background can really help small business owners learn how to do these things on their own.
I think that is super important to when you're a business owner, or when you're a freelancer, when you're just starting. I think it's super important to be able to be hands-on. It's great when you can rely and grow to a point where you can hire people like me and other amazing creatives in order to get that job done for you. But even when you get there, you still want to understand what's going on, because it's good to trust, but it's also good to keep that sense of direction and understanding what's going on in your business. So I think that that's a fantastic way to start, and understanding what goes into the creation. I think that even the day that you're going to be able just to kind of pass on this job to someone else, so you won't have to worry about it anymore, it will be extremely important to bond for your future team to know exactly what goes into creating a marketing kit, and really have that hands-on approach. I really try to share a little bit of reasoning on each single project on why it's important of creating that sort of materials. We talked about print. We're going to talk about web. I show how to create a newsletter, a social media asset. So my goal is to help anybody that has a business or is self-employed to connect with their audience online and offline. Of course, offline, if we're talking about print, and online, mainly social media, or again, as I mentioned, a newsletter. And those are the point of contact with an audience. As we know, it's very important to communicate your presence in the market. If you run a business, if you're a business owner, or if you are promoting yourself as a freelance. And with this starter kit, you're really going to be able to start off nice and fast, because I try to pack in as many templates as possibly could per each single project. And I think that that's just a good way to get comfortable and to start creating. And again, practice and have fun and follow your passion are what I'm going to keep reiterating. And that's what you can do by learning these tips and techniques. Hopefully, you're then going to be able to create your own and even evolve from whatever project and template I've shared with you.
Yeah, so I'm excited to take this class because the way you speak about marketing, which I am, the marketing lead at Creative Live and do all the social medias. So it's really, it's exciting to see somebody who really thinks about how social media and marketing really fits holistically and into building your identity as a brand. And I think this class really helps people kind of figure out that that's where you got to start to really start to understand where you want to grow. And that's a really, like, sometimes you have the end idea already in your head. And if you don't start from the small things like the colors and the fonts and the feeling of the paper, you're never going to get to that kind of end goal without really caring about those fine details. And you really help people tackle that in this class in a way that's really helpful.
Fantastic. Thank you. And also I want to give a quick shout out to Adobe because they do provide a lot of help with Adobe Fonts and Adobe Color. And I try to share all these services and resources that come with the Creative Cloud. And I think they're fantastic for designers, but most importantly for beginners. I talk about accessibility in terms of colors as well and fonts. So besides the project itself, that is a lot to learn in terms of how to expand your knowledge in understanding design and understanding why certain element maybe will be better than other and the reasoning behind it, because that's what I always try to share with my client. It's not about it necessarily if you like it or not. It's important to know what my clients don't like, but it's more important to understand what your audience like and how they're going to perceive. So as long as the reasoning is there, I think that's what really tick the boxes when you're creating your marketing material.
Yeah, absolutely. So, that was a very quick stream. We already got to the end of our live stream. And just as a reminder to everyone, if you're watching on social media, make sure you tap the link that I just dropped in the comments to head over to watch Kladi's class. If you're watching from the class page, class will kick off here in just a few minutes. Just make sure you refresh your page. And thank you so much for tuning in to this quick live stream before Kladi's class starts. Thanks, everybody. Nice to have you all here.
Pursuing creativity is arguably the most practical thing that you can do.
We humans are adaptation champions. That's what makes us human, our ability to imagine.
The hard part is to look inside and say, what are my invisible beliefs that I have about money? I wanted to figure out how it actually worked.
And you are really here because you became passionate about an idea.
What does it take to capture great photographs of birds? You have to be grounded in your cameras. You need to understand the technology.
Just like any band shoot, we're looking to capture great shots of the band themselves playing on stage. So the drummer shot, lead singer, guitars.
how do you even prepare to shoot with your phone? And then we're actually going to go into the edit.
Once you hit rock bottom, there's no place to go but up. You learn what's real. You learn what's needed.
In astrophotography, there is a great deal more planning involved because you are literally shooting in the dark.
We can't change others, but we can change our perspective.
Wow, that's a good way to start the day.
I had tears in my eyes.